Hello, Loveland. I'm Mike Meldon, and this is your Loveland Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Gina Dubell-Smith, eXp Realty, and Stone Pillar Farm. Today, we're joined by my friend Ryan Kulic, the visionary founder of Ohio Virtue PAC. Dedicated to fortifying the political landscape in Ohio, this PAC stands as a bulwark against the divisive forces of our time. With a mission to uphold the Constitution and safeguard America from demagoguery, Ohio Virtue PAC is poised to empower a coalition of disillusioned Democrats and sensible Republicans in Southern Ohio. Join us as we explore their efforts to cultivate a political environment resistant to the MAGA phenomenon and pave the way for a principled leadership in the Buckeye State. Hello, fellow Lovelanders. Like many of you, I care about our community and our environment. And like many of you, I believe in looking out for our future and our children's futures. That's why I'm happy to talk to you about the Wellness Company. They offer over 400 products for everyday use, all formulated from naturally derived ingredients. That means they're safe, effective, and budget-friendly. Whether it's household cleaners, personal care items, or supplements, this company has you covered. And the best part? By choosing these products, we're not just improving our own well-being, but we're also reducing our impact on the environment. So neighbors, let's make a change together. Join me in prioritizing a healthier future for our community. If you have any questions or would like to talk about it, feel free to reach out to Kim at knherbert05@gmail.com. Together, let's make a difference. Today is Monday, March 18th, 2024.
Okay, so Mike, last I talked to you, we were talking about Moms for Liberty. And kind of this takeover, I want to say this attempt of an intellectual takeover of a lot of our foundational pieces in society, be it law enforcement, be it education, be it the books we get from the library.
Right.
And I'm going to warn you, I'll do a few shameless plugs here and there, but
Good, no.
my whole journey into the whole kind of world of new media, things like YouTube and podcasting, was back in 2016 after Trump was elected. And it had nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. I want to tell people, because if some people are going to listen, they're going to say, oh, Ryan's just got Trump derangement syndrome. I'm going to tell you guys, I've hated Trump since the 1990s.
New.
Yeah, he has always represented to me the exact opposite of the American dream. Mm-hmm. A guy who inherited $1 billion, and we all think he's successful because he has $500 million.
Right.
And it's like you go to the casino table with $1,000 and you walk out with 100 and go, hey, I got $100. That's not winning. And I was always just annoyed by this cult of Trump, how he's a New York businessman and stuff. So after the 2016 election, I thought, this is good. This is going to be a rough go. I don't feel comfortable with this. What can I do? So at the time, I founded a website called Seed Sing. The idea was making the seed sing, because we talk about grassroots and things like that.
Cool.
And it was built to be kind of a way for local candidates to have a presence. They don't have to have a website and all that stuff. And I just needed content. Mm-hmm. So I had my brother, who does a lot of like sports and pop culture writing, write content for it. Well, that's what it ended up becoming. And I kind of gave up the whole political thing, the grassroots political thing, outside of my regular job, what I do for a living. And that's where I got started with podcasting. So as time has gone on, and I've worked with a variety of different people, I've really looked at the idea of using podcasting for political campaigns. I've run a few candidates in the last few years where we'll do 5 to 10 minute podcasts, and they put them on their website, and then I distribute it through Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. And it's like, what does candidate X think of women's right to choose issues? What does candidate X think about the economy? 5 to 7 minutes, and it started to do good for me. So as we were looking towards this new election, I was like, you know what? I want to do something to stop what I feel like is this MAGA disease, this idea of these people trying to take over our foundational institutions. And in my opinion, Moms for Liberty isn't trying to make education better. They're trying to destroy public education.
Exactly.
I don't think Trump and his acolytes want to make the police better. They want to control the cities. And and I tell this to people all the time. Is there crime in cities? Yes, there's crime in cities, but they don't want to stop crime. They want to get those people out of there so they can sell it to developers.
Right. Like New York, like Manhattan.
Exactly. 100%. Right. So I thought, okay, I want to do something about that. And the real genesis comes in when I'm originally from St. Louis. And when I was working in politics in Missouri, this was maybe around 2004, somebody had written a thing in the newspaper about why the Democratic Party was having trouble, why George W. Bush was the president and it looked like he might get reelected, why Missouri in particular started to fall from being a bellwether state, from being a state like Ohio. As the Missouri goes, the country goes.
Right.
How did it go from that to becoming a reliably red state? And this article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the person talked about how politically we build as a pyramid. We build as a triangle. And I know it's audio and I'm doing hand signals.
Oh, no. Right.
But the bottom, the base of the pyramid, that is your grassroots. That is your voters. That is your precinct executives. That is that is your foundation. And as you build up that pyramid, the very, very top, that is the president.
Okay.
During the Clinton administration, they flipped it. They made Bill Clinton the most important piece of that entire pyramid. All the money funneled into him. And consequently, good, bad, or otherwise, we started to lose these states. We started to lose governorships because everything was focused into that one person.
Wow, yeah.
And it's taken us a generation. We still haven't really responded.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Wow. So I look at the same thing with the Republican Party now, that everything's about Donald Trump. They've taken that pyramid and they've flipped it.
Yeah.
Regardless what my politics are, that's a bad thing.
Right.
And I'm not here to pass judgment on the person of Donald Trump or Bill Clinton, but this kind of consolidation of power into one person, I felt like wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's something that's on everybody's mind now. The movie Dune Part 2 is out. It's making tons of money. And I often tell people that if you know the story, it's your basic hero story. A guy saves the people. Everybody's happy. I go, you go read Frank Herbert's books, because he wrote 6 of them.
Wow.
That's not good. The next book, that guy who's the hero ends up blind, wandering in the desert, trying to destroy his legacy, because Frank Herbert 60 years ago was saying worshiping people is bad.
Wow. Wow.
And I always felt like that. So long story short, I thought, what could I do this election? And I remember I met you. We met over at Ramsey's there, and I talked about how I wanted to create this Cincinnatus PAC.
Yep.
Because our city's namesake is General Cincinnatus, who famously took control of Rome and then gave up power back to the people once he was done to go plow his crops. And there's this whole, I did, such a deep dive into this, the whole Society of Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, we're named after. That's what Cincinnati is actually named after, the society.
Right, yeah, that's what I learned.
It's crazy.
And I learned there's 14 chapters, not one in Cincinnati. It's the 13 colonies and one in France.
And it was John Cleves Sims who he had the plots here, right? And then he was just a member of the organization. And so he's like, hey, I want to honor the organization I'm a member of. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I was going to call it the Cincinnatus Promise,
I love
the
it.
Cincinnatus PAC. Yeah. And then a few people I was working with, they were like, everybody in Ohio is going to be mad if you just say Cincinnati. Come up with
That's true. That's true. I guess I could see that. Yeah, it was a great name, though.
Right, and I want to give credit where it's due. I really was inspired by what the Lincoln Project did in the last election. So I'm like, to me though, this is my home, and I saw what happened to Missouri, going from the bellwether to just reliably red. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something here. So I founded the Ohio Virtue Fund PAC. And the goal of it says flat out there, you could probably tell I'm a big pop culture guy. It says MAGA is the disease, we are the cure.
Mm-hmm.
I got that directly from the one sheet, the poster of the Sylvester Stallone movie Cobra from the mid 80s, where it says crime is the disease, meet the cure.
Nice.
So the idea was to promote candidates who are not MAGA and to promote movements and things. And it was the primary was coming up here, and I was looking around. There were two races that really caught my attention. The first one was up in the Toledo area. Longtime Representative Marcy Kaptur was running. I mean, she's the incumbent.
She's great. Yeah.
But that district was drawn for Republicans to knock her out. And in the last election, there was a guy, J.R. Majewski, who the only thing he was known for was he painted his lawn like a Trump flag.
Oh.
Very, very MAGA, very this. The establishment Republicans split the vote. He ended up becoming the nominee. Come to find out later, he's part of stolen valor. He said he was in the military when he wasn't, or he didn't serve where he said he did.
Right.
But he was running again, big MAGA guy. And so I'm like, do I want to support one of the Republicans? And I want to make this clear to you, Mike, and everybody. Right. This isn't about just supporting Democrats. It's like, look at people like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. I may not agree with them on 95% of the stuff they do, but the one thing I do agree with them on, you have to not let Donald Trump be president, is more important to me.
Right. It's bigger than just left and right.
Right. So I looked at that race. Did I want to look at one of the Republicans up there in the primary? J.R. Majewski ended up saying some very hateful and unfortunate things on the podcast and had to drop out of the race. The other one was Ohio 2, which is Brad Winstrup's old seat. It's where we're sitting right now. We can walk to that district. It's right across the Little Miami River and goes all the way to West Virginia, hugging the Ohio River along the way. And at the time, there were, I think, 12 Republicans running in the primary after Representative Winstrup retired, and then 2 Democrats. And all of the Republicans but one, very pro-Trump. Their commercials are pro-Trump or Trump this, Trump this. Then there was a longtime Cincinnati politician, Phil Heimlich, who was very anti-Trump. He basically ran it wasn't the Lincoln Project, but like that group before. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll do this. And then one of the 2 Democrats ended up dropping out of the primary to essentially give, Samantha Meadows is her name, she doesn't have a competitive primary. She's going to win no matter what. But this Democrat dropped out, Joe Wessels, and endorsed Phil Heimlich.
Right.
And I thought at the time, because a lot of people, and Democrats especially, are very, very upset about it. And I thought, no, you know what? I understand what he's doing. Samantha Meadows is going to be on the ballot. We need to, if we could, let's be honest here, a Republican more than likely is going to win that.
Yep.
Winstrup took 75% of the vote last time.
Wow.
And that by no means do I not think the Democrats should run a credible race, but why waste money in the primary? Because you're going to need it in the election. So I thought about it, and I thought maybe I will do some support for Phil Heimlich, and I founded the PAC. I founded it as a what's called a hybrid PAC. It's I have to keep 2 bank accounts, but one of them I can directly support candidates.
Okay.
I can there's obviously funding limits, but I can directly give them money, support all this other stuff. And then the other side of the PAC is like a super PAC. I can do unlimited expenditures, but I can't directly support a candidate.
Huh. What was the name of that again?
It's called a hybrid PAC.
Okay, a hybrid. Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Legally, you have to, I always tell people it's not hard to not break the law. So you just know what you're doing. And I've had experience with this. I'm like, okay. But as I looked at the timing, I go, look, I'm not going to get involved in the primary. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start building the foundation. We're going to build it through podcasting and videos, and I'm cutting together I guess I shouldn't say TikTok. I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah, who knows, right?
But use a lot of this new media and engage in people on who these non-MAGA candidates are. And I know a lot of it, I'm going to be backing Democrats. I know that. But I was frustrated with the Ohio Democratic Party at the time because, first off, they endorse in these local races, which means they're not giving Democrats a chance to make their own choices. They're kind of putting the thumb on the scale. And that's what happened in Ohio too. It's happened in a few other districts. And that frustrated me. And then on the other side of it, they're like, I feel like they're doing this to try to give Sherrod Brown as much money as possible. But I'm like, if you have competitive races in these areas you're not competitive, you're going to excite people.
Yeah.
Don't put your thumb on the scale. And the current Ohio Democratic Party, I mean, J.D. Vance is in the Senate. I mean,
right.
Come on.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. I know those people in Columbus. I know they're trying to work hard. They're trying to do this, but I just don't feel like they're thinking of the whole state. And I feel like the former Speaker of the House is in prison for 20 years, and they gained seats in the legislature.
It's out there everywhere, but if you ask people about it,
Yeah.
they know very little.
Right. Yeah. And so I'm like, that's what this group can do.
Yeah.
When I've often used podcasting in a way to document history, or to document, not history, that makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about, to document what is going on.
Sure.
To just have a document of what's going on. And I wanted to use it with the Ohio Virtue PAC to first get people aware and use a media that is talking to people under 50. Okay? I watch MSNBC, I watch Fox News, I watch CNN. I'm 48 years old. I'm the youngest person I know that watches that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
But I know people like my brother, who's 8 years younger than me, or my nieces who are 20 years younger than me and stuff. They listen to podcasts. They're getting ready. One of my nieces is going to vote in this election. This is going to be the first election. Both my nieces are first election they're going to get to vote in, and this is where they get their information. Right. So I'm like, can I do it in an engaging fashion, and then in turn help these candidates? And I guess the last thing I say, moving forward, once the primary's over, look what happens in Ohio too. Win or lose, Phil Heimlich's going to show me what the anti-Trump vote is in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
We'll have that data. So that's where we go. That's great. Then you look at the rest of the state. And if we need to help Marcy Kaptur against a MAGA candidate, we're going to help Marcy Kaptur.
Right.
Sherrod Brown definitively will be running against a MAGA candidate. And we are talking about control of the Senate on the line.
Huge.
And if I can go into these MAGA strongholds like Southern Ohio or Eastern Ohio, go into there and just pull a couple extra thousand votes, I think it's worth it.
Big.
I look at this as a marathon. In order to stop this, it is going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of cycles. And I have personally discussed with the inner circle that I'm working with right now that I'm here for 4 years. This is going to be, and then we're going to transition, because the worst thing an organization can do is let its founder stay around too long. But I'm in this for 4 years, which means this election, the governor's election, and then the next presidential election. Yeah. And then all the elections in between there. I want to focus on Ohio. Things like the municipal stuff, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these state and federal elections. That's what I really want to do a lot of work on in the next 4 years. Because again, I don't think the Ohio Democratic Party they don't have the resources, and I don't think they're building the resources to run these kind of things. So I want this organization to be that. But I know, and this for very recent criticisms, there's another PAC similar to this that has been doing heavy work in the primary, especially in Ohio number 2. And a lot of Democrats are afraid that if people take another ballot, if they take the other ballot, then it's going to hurt Democratic efforts and it's going to hurt the buildings of the party, as they've been trying to do for years. And I want to tell those people, I hear that. But I go back to this as a marathon. And I'm looking at this as a 4-year vision. And in order to protect candidates who are not being, and I just didn't even say that, in order to protect the party or the algorithm or whatever they're doing to try to figure out who Democrats are and who Republicans are, that's not going to save the country. That's going to save your party where you're the minority in there. And sometimes we need those people to cross over. And the best example I can give is currently in the Ohio state legislature, in the Ohio State House, the Speaker of the House, Jason Stevens, is by no means a friend to the Democratic Party. But the guy they were going to put in was going to destroy the public education system. Yeah. And the Democrats made a deal with 22 Republicans to bring Stevens in so they could delay that. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to delay something to get to where you want to go.
Right.
So those Democrats crossed the aisle to bring in a speaker that, again, 9 out of 10 things they're not going to get. But our public education system is not in the dire shape that it could have been in.
Those people realize how dire the situation is.
Right.
And we need everyone, just not the people that are in the state house. We all need to realize how dire the situation is.
I know when my mother was going through cancer treatments, and she's been cancer-free years now, which is good, but she had to take some pretty heavy drugs. And things like, I don't want to name the drugs. I have no medical knowledge at all, but opioid type drugs that your body gets addicted to. And in order for her to basically survive the treatments, she would have to take another drug to get her off the addiction, the physical addiction to that drug. My mother is alive today because of that process. I don't know if people are going to say it's a bad thing, a bad comparison, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do in order to save. When I say MAGA is a disease or MAGA is a cancer, I mean that.
It is.
It is. I personally believe if Trump wins this election, we have to worry about ever having free elections again. I really believe that.
It's not out of the it's happened, guys, and it's happened not long ago all around the world, many places. And who wrote the book? It Can't Happen Here.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of I mean, it can.
Yes,
and I think that's the problem. Is too many people think it can't happen here, and yet when you watch people react to this man, you can see that this is a definite possibility.
And I am that way I'm trying to cure. I mean, it's a joke. I came up with a joke, but it is. I'm trying to cure that, and I'm going to do it through any means necessary. And once the primary is over, I'm going to assemble the board because right now we're literally doing almost no activity. The PAC has nothing but debt. But I'm going to put the board together. I'm going to start vetting candidates. And if I look at Ohio too, and I think that the Democrats going to try to run a credible campaign, I'm going to help them. And I'm going to help them not out of any sense of any party loyalty or things like that. I'm going to help them back. What I said earlier is if we can pull a few extra 1,000 votes out of there in an area that seems dire and Sherrod Brown wins, I think it's worth doing. Because we just, I don't want people to feel depressed. And I want them to think that what I'm trying to do is helpful. And I'm trying to do it in an entertaining fashion. I'm trying to do it in a passionate fashion. But I'm not here to destroy anybody's work. I'm here to destroy MAGA. And that's what it is.
And how can people help? Well, how can people listen to your podcast?
The easiest way is ohiovirtue.org. It's I get this all the time. People are like, "You're not a web designer," and I'm like, "I know," but it's basic. You'll see up there's very basic things. You can go directly there. We'll tell you how to donate. Like I said, I am currently assembling the board. If people are interested in that kind of work, you can reach me at area code 513-600-8077, or you can email me at ohiovirtuepac@gmail.com. I think we've gone beyond that. It's like saying www.
Yeah, right.
No, so, and it's, I want to hear from you. If we've done a couple of podcasts, which you can find on Apple and Spotify, wherever you find. It's just called the Ohio Virtue PAC podcast. And it's, we're just trying to, I should say, but the people I'm working with, we're just trying to lay the groundwork. And that comes out every week on Tuesday. So we're trying to get that going. We're trying to flow it there. I've got a couple of interviews coming up actually on the next one. So we're moving with that. But this is, I go back to the idea of a marathon. And I've never run the flying pig, but I've had a lot of friends who have done the relay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to myself all the time, I get tired driving 26.2 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you needed my help on that relay, I'll help you on that relay. And that's what this is. I need people to help. I need you to be on my relay. So that's where we are. And if you haven't already, because yours comes out on Monday, right?
Monday, yep.
Yeah, vote.
Oh, right. Yeah.
March 19th,
yes,
vote.
Tuesday.
Make your voices heard. Get out there and vote. Even if you don't feel like there's anything on there, go out and vote.
Hey, Loveland. It's Emily Barblow, your local publisher of Loveland Lifestyle magazine. Just wanted to remind you guys that we love covering all of the people, happenings, and things going on in our amazing town of Loveland, Ohio. So make sure to grab your latest copy. We always drop a bunch off in downtown Loveland and surrounding areas. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Everything from events to mini press releases, articles. I mean, we have so much happening here. We love covering all of the things happening. So make sure if you're not already following us on social media, you are. And stay tuned for more awesome info from Loveland Lifestyle.
Are you looking to make a difference in your neighborhood? Love Our Land has got you covered. We're on a mission to bring back life to our neighborhoods 1 yard at a time. Join us in restoring what we've lost to invasive species and help our neighborhoods thrive again with a variety of life. From educational classes to nature walks, Love Our Land offers it all. Become a member today and make a positive impact on your community. And when you do, all events and classes are absolutely free. It truly takes all of us. Visit loveourland.org for more information. Let's make our neighborhoods bloom together with Love Our Land.
Hello, it's Elise Snapshafer with another Loveland High School weekly update. So this week is the week before spring break, which means a lot of fun activities are jam-packed into one short week. This week is Hope Week, which is something that Hope Squad puts on every year to raise awareness around suicide, depression, anxiety, mental illness, and try and break the stigma around it. Some of the activities they have planned for this week are a guest speaker assembly, raffle baskets, ice cream trucks, a petting zoo, spirit days, and eating outside. Another thing going on this week is the blood drive on Tuesday to help and collect blood for those who may need it. There are also many athletic events this week. There is a boys volleyball home game, 2 boys baseball games at home, and a boys lacrosse game at home.
In Loveland City News, call to all artists. The Loveland Art Festival asks you to apply by April 1st to be considered for the show. Whistle Stop Clayworks is excited to open the application process for the 2024 Loveland Art Festival happening September 7th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. in historic downtown Loveland. The Loveland Art Festival is in its 7th year and will have more than 65 artists, a food truck, live music, and more. The Art Festival will feature local artists in a variety of media: acrylic painting, watercolors, glass and beadwork, pottery, jewelry, mixed media, fiber arts, woodworking, and many more. Attendance at the 2023 Art Festival was estimated at 3,000 people. The show organizers are excited to announce that the event will be juried this year. To apply now until April 1st, go to www.lovelandartfestival.com. And if you have events that you would like me to mention or show ideas for the podcast, please reach out to mike@lovelandpod.com. We have something truly special here in Loveland. Thank you for listening and have a great week. With the support of On Brand Studios, this episode was recorded, produced, and engineered by Mike Meldon. Please note that the opinions expressed in the podcast do not necessarily represent the views of our sponsors or organization.